Hello, everyone. I'm speaking to you from Temple. I'm on my way to Belfast and I should be there about 2. Hopefully, I'm just getting some refreshments. But I wanted to dedicate today's walk to the family that I stayed with in the West Bank. Their name was the Abu Hamam family. And I was there in December and January with them. And they lived in a valley called Al Khalil. Um, it's about 20 miles maybe east of Ramallah. And they lived there. They had a cave. Well, we think that's a real novelty, but that's common enough in the Jordan Valley. And so in the cave, they had their kitchen. And then outside the cave, there was a big tents. And one of them was for the internationals. And we slept in there on mattresses and they are big blankets. It was so cozy. And then they had another big tent for, it was like a living room or with a set in the evenings around the fire. And then there was another tent that used where the family would have slept. But by the time I got there, it was too dangerous for me to stay at night while the women and children, the men would have stayed with us. So that family consisted of Hammam, who was the mother, and I wouldn't comment on her age, but her husband was 70. And that woman had a permanent smile on her face. She was so endearing. So always a smile. In fact, there was a video that went viral of her just getting attacked by a young settler and she was smiling through it all. And that was her, that was genuine. And could she cook? Like, they just wanted to feed you to death. And we would have sat in that cave round, you know, the little small table the Arabs use, cushions, and the feeds where you guys. And don't dare let your plate get nearly cleaned because the next thing a big ladle comes over and no questions asked, you have to go again. So I learned one Arabic word and that was halas, enough, because they just wanted to feed you. And then after that, the charity would come and homemade desserts. They made all their own bread. They had their own goats. You would have been eating their own goats. Made their own cheeses. That was beautiful. Food was beautiful. And I think I'm being a wee bit selfish, but one of the reasons why I want Zion isn't the fall is that I can go back there and get some of my mom's food. But her husband was called Abu Hamam, and he was about 70. He's a wee late man, but he's full of energy. And you'd have seen him praying maybe 3 times a day, doing in and read the Quran or second prayer. He all did actually. Great faith. And he was deaf as a post, and he used to hold the radio up to his ear. My uncle was a farmer, and he used to do that, had the wheel up to his ear. And then you would have had the grandchildren, Fada and Lulu were 2 young girls that were there all the time. And you know, to see them greeting their grandfather, I watched Fada one day and she came up to him and she kissed his hand and she curtsied in front of him and she bowed his head and he kissed her in the forehead and they hugged. And it was lovely to see, like, and they're very, very close. All the families and the neighbours would have come out all the time, and I was sitting in the mountains all night watching over them. So, like, in Palestine, I think no one will be lonely. If it's not your family, it's your neighbours. They're very, very family orientated, very close people. And they don't understand how we live. So many of us live on our own, especially the activists. They're just people living on their own. They can't understand it. But we loved that family. They were so hospitable, so welcoming, so nice. Those wee girls were so smart and full of energy. And I couldn't speak any more highly of them. And I dedicate my walk to them. And I let the next part of the video speak for yourself. Speak for itself, because this is what happened about a month after I got deported. And so that valley now is taken over by strangers. And It was really dangerous for us to walk around in it. We couldn't walk around in it, but now nobody'll be able to walk anywhere in that valley. And now that Abu Hammam's family are gone, they started to attack the village and commit atrocities in the village. And Abu Hammam and the village knew that would happen, and that's why for 2 years they resisted. They were determined, was they knew once that valley was cleared, the village was next, and they were right. So I will be posting videos about what happened after in the village, and it's not good. Seriously, on Palestine.